So I was in the Discord server for Dremel and I read something. Me 0.2 seconds after 2.2 releases and it's a bunch of money. Now I don't make a bunch of money off my videos. If I could, I would be doing this full time. But I have been wanting to make more Dremel videos recently, so we're gonna do that today. Over on the Dremel Twitter and Discord, they've been posting teaser images for 2.2 and I'm gonna go over them and give my thoughts. I don't think all of these are important to the story, so let's get the smaller ones out of the way real fast. This first one just looks like a ruined village to me. It's probably somewhere in Mael's Desolation. Some sort of alchemist hut, unmistakingly in South Tharzax. This just looks like a normal loot ruin with a wizard holding a torch or something. Some kind of shrine for the Tri-Moon Theocracy. This one just looks like a really pretty landscape. A library somewhere up high. Judging by the trees in the background, I think this might be where Peace Treaty is. This just looks like a normal pillager camp near spawn. And this is one of the caves in Anner Najur, but you can see on the side of the mountain there's a staircase leading up to it, so it could be a different cave than the rest of the caves found around that desert. And lastly, this just appears to be a skeleton camp somewhere in Oclaroma, but it is cool to note that the flowers are wilted in the background, so I'm not sure what that means. It could be significant. With all of those out of the way, let's get on to the ones that I think will be a major part of the map. In my opinion, this mysterious looking eye is probably a part of Mount Yavhelix. If you can look very closely at the rocks up top, I think that is a dead coral block or something. That block is pretty much only used around Mount Yavhelix, and this just looks like unmistakably the stone texture found in Mount Yavhelix. Next up, we have a dark coded message, but let me brighten that up and translate it. It says, "The throne of the Avsamic Emperor was never found." Now, the first impression I get from this is that we will probably end up having to find the throne of the Avsamic Emperor, and perhaps we will have to fight the Emperor himself. That would be pretty cool. Next up, we have a castle sticking out of the Heartwood, and I'm not sure what could be inside, but because of its size and scale, I think there is probably some pretty good loot inside of there, so I wanted to give it a special mention. This next one looks like a palace atop a mountain, and we actually saw this in full color during the Dremel teaser trailer, and so I'm not sure exactly what it could be, but it is a farm, looks like it could be a nice place to live, and I'm pretty sure there's probably a legendary weapon inside. Next up, we have a rug and some banners of the Avsamic symbol, and I'm not sure exactly what this means, but judging by the architecture, I want to say this is probably a new room inside of the terminus. This next one I think will be a major location, but I am very perplexed by it, and that is because this photo is taken in a house in the style of Dusps, which is in Oclaroma, but in the background you can obviously see a house in the style of Furtide, and those two areas are really far apart from each other. Now, I'm not sure why these two buildings would be right next to each other. My current theory is that there is a village that has the building from every other village, so kind of a mashup village. This image right here, I really want to say are the crypts of Oclaroma, judging by the flowers creeping in, but the light on the left side leads me to believe that this is built into the side of a mountain, and we can see a quartz pipe ruined running along the top there, which is something we see a lot in Mount Yavhelix, so this is probably something having to do with the Order of Avsom or Insom. Now, I'm not sure how major this area would be. That looks unmistakably like a vault door, but the use of end rods leads me to believe this is probably a higher tier area. And also on the back wall, you'll notice there is a weird blue orb that is a mysterious item. I don't know what it is. And there is also a wither rose, so this is actually a pretty important area to loot because wither roses can be traded in the terminus for good items. For this next one, I have very little evidence as of where it is or exactly what it is. I want to believe that it's an achievement-based area, kind of like the Exodus Citadel, and that is because in that little gateway there's bedrock, and bedrock usually indicates that you need an achievement to unlock it. It also appears that there are buttons up top, maybe that you have to activate to turn on whatever command block green emerald-looking effect is going on down here. This is probably an achievement area. I'm not sure what would be inside, but it looks pretty cool. Moving on, this one to me looks like a functioning village on top of a mountain, and the lack of ruination around the village makes me assume that villagers probably do live here, so it's probably a new village, that's my theory, and it's on the top of a mountain, so that's pretty cool. And I'm gonna guess that this is probably around Purity Peaks somewhere. This image is probably the most important one out of all of them so far, in my opinion. This is unmistakably in the Burnt Palace or somewhere in Hell Crags. We have a bridge up top, and if you look carefully, there are trap doors on the bottom side of the bridge, so I think this could be a trap, or it could be a mining area. You know, the ores are put in buckets and then dumped through the trap door into that big fire down below to be smelted. That's my opinion on it. I'm not exactly sure what this could be, but it is a major looking area. And lastly, this one seems more like a teaser for a reworked Drobyel and a confirmation that villagers will have an updated model in the new resource pack. It looks like they have horns coming out of them, or antlers of some kind, and apparently Drehmal, Malice, and Virtuo, and probably all of the other gods of Dremel have antlers as well, so that is kind of the staple look of the fantasy realm here. So yeah, those are all the images that have been released via the Dremel Twitter. Let me know in the comments down below which image was your favorite, and give me your theories on some of the images. I am personally super excited to play 2.2 here in the winter, and I hope you guys are too. I wanted to help build some more hype for this map. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more Dremel news, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day, everyone.